Good morning. I'd like to call the order of the Washington County Board of Supervisors for September 17, 2021 to order, please. And I would ask if Supervisor Clary would lead us in a prayer.
Thank you, Chairman. Dear Lord, help us and guide us through our daily living, whether it be teachers, whether it be healthcare workers, patrol officers, and all the many people that serve us every single day. It's trying times, but if you look around and see all that you have given us, it makes it an easy way to just do our days. Let's do it with kindness and care. Amen.
Thank you, Sue. Please rise to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In case of fire or emergency, there's 3 exits through. There and there. In case of emergency, please keep the nearest exit, find the nearest stairway, go down next to the building, and please clear the building so emergency squads can do their job. If you need assistance, please contact someone to help you out. Also, please silence your cell phones for this meeting. Thank you. Okay, we will start with the roll call, please.
Mr. Hankey.
Here.
Mrs. Fedler.
I'm here.
Mr. Ferguson.
Here.
Mr. Shaw. Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Fisher.
Here.
Mr. Hicks.
Here.
Mr. Ward.
Here.
Mr. O'Brien.
Here.
Mr. Half.
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Skelly.
Here.
Mr. Hogan.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mrs. Clary.
Here.
Mr. Griffith.
Here.
Mr. Roselle.
He's here.
Yep.
He's here. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so we have a quorum.
Yeah.
The condensed minutes from the August 20th and September 7th, 2021 meetings are accepted as emailed unless there are any additions or corrections. Do we have any? Seeing none, it will go forward. Communications.
No, I think we gotta go back. Are you gonna go back to presentations?
Yep, we'll do that. We'll do communications, okay.
You want to do communications?
Yeah, let's do communications first.
Okay.
I'll go back to that.
For communications from Washington County joined with Warren County in a proclamation extending sincere gratitude and appreciation to Sam Parker, the Capital Region representative for the Office of the Governor of the State of New York, who assisted in sourcing vaccine doses for the distribution in Warren and Washington counties and opening of the mass vaccination site. That's all I have for communications.
Okay, thank you. We have some presentations today to some employees who have served the residents of Washington County well over many, many years. And I'd like to see Valerie Campbell. Is Valerie available? Yes. Come on up, Valerie, if you would, please. And I would ask Bob Henke to represent Sue Clary. Bob's our vice chairman, and he will make the presentation.
Congratulations, Valerie. I don't know how you can have 20 years in when you're not even 20 years old yet, but
It's actually 21.
yeah.
And from our Sheriff's Department, Michael DeSantos. Michael, come forward, please. Michael's had 20 years and 3 months of service, and we'd ask that the chairman of the Public Safety Committee, Don Ward, come forward, please, to make the presentation.
Michael, congratulations on your retirement. We thank you for your service to Washington County. Thank you.
Okay. COVID-19 update. Tim, would you please do us the honors?
All right, good morning. Let me just share my screen here.
Just a quick update on where we are in our response to COVID-19 and COVID-19 in our communities here in Washington County. We continue to keep our public information site updated every day, washingtoncountiny.gov/coronavirus. That is the most up-to-date location that you can find all the information relative to COVID-19 in Washington County and our communities. And also sign up for our daily e-newsletter, which blasts out that information from every day, the new case information, anything pertinent to vaccine and those type of things. A couple updates regarding our public health operations. They're continuing to operate at 7-day-a-week staffing and have brought in additional local contact tracers, which are personnel from either other departments or from outside, in addition to the state contact tracers that are working on cases daily, trying to track down those folks that are coming in every day and doing our contact tracing. Just a comparison, last year on this date, last year yesterday, September 16th of 2020 versus September 16th of 2021, where we are. Persons under monitoring last year were 180, today are 648. Those are our total quarantines and active positives we have right now. Our confirmed cases as of last year, this time, 271, and we're up to 3,510. Our active cases, so the ones that are actually positive and in isolation today versus last year today, or yesterday, 9 last year and 165 today. And our recovery is obviously 249 last year and 3,300 this year. Hospitalizations last year, 0 and 6 as of last night, and our deaths from 13 last year to 45 today. The biggest thing that public health certainly is encouraging folks that are not feeling well, and the symptoms vary. The symptoms go from anything from a severe headache to extended GI symptoms, diarrhea, vomiting, anything like that. So if you're sick and you're not feeling well, please stay home. We're continuing to see those workplace spread cases or people out into the community that aren't feeling well and think they're okay enough to just go out and a couple days later test positive. And it turns certainly into the contact tracing nightmare that we're dealing with, especially when we can't get through to people on the phone to let them know and we can get them quarantined. So we're just continuing to ask anybody, if you're not feeling well, please stay home and get tested. We have the links and locations that you can be tested here locally. It's right on our washingtoncountiny.gov/coronavirus website. In addition, I have a short link that I put up there and in the presentation. One of the challenges that we're still currently dealing with are those folks that are being tested in Vermont. We're not getting those results for anywhere up to 3 days. So our public health folks have difficulty in contacting these folks and starting the contact tracing process because they don't even know about these cases for up to 3 days. So we are encouraging anyone in our community who goes to Vermont and gets tested, if you test positive and you're advised, please reach out to our public health team, 518-746-2400. So we can start that investigation immediately and get the other folks around you that need to be quarantined or need to go and get tested, can start that process. The level of community transmission that's being tracked by the CDC remains high here in Washington County, which also includes the strong encouragement that anybody in a public area should be wearing a mask indoors. Certainly here at the county facilities, the chairman has instituted the mask wearing anywhere in public areas indoors. Active case data, this was as of last night at 7 p.m., 684 people under monitoring, 165 positives, and we have 6 hospitalized folks. And then I just put up the updated slides that we had been doing previously throughout the pandemic, which is our total active COVID-19 statistics by date. And you can see those go down through. The PUM obviously fluctuate. Those are our quarantines at the time. Our red or maroon there is the COVID-19 positives. At the time, those are just the active ones, so not the ones overall. Hospitalizations, that's the data report, and then the deaths, that's the data report. And then you have the historical graph on there that shows you all of those same statistics as it started when we started recording data on this, all the way through last week, and we update that every Friday. So anyone looking for vaccination, the vaccination options are very wide. Certainly public health is one vaccination option. We're trying to do a clinic at least one a week, which I'll talk about in just a couple of minutes. But obviously your local pharmacies all have access to the vaccine, your healthcare providers, in addition to state sites. Even though there isn't one here locally that's up and running right now anymore, there still are some other state sites that are out there that you can still go and sign up for. So access to vaccine, it is out there. And we're continuing to do the homebound as those come into us. So if people are still registering on our website as homebound, we are reaching out to them and coordinating a time we can send a team out to vaccinate them. Just a rundown on the clinics we have coming for the remainder of September. We have one tonight at the Washington County Fair. It's going to be at the fair office, and that is from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome there. That will be the first dose Pfizer, age 12 and up. We'll be doing a second dose Pfizer from the events that we held during the fair, and we'll be doing a walk-in of J&J tonight. That's the single dose. Next Thursday, September 23rd, in coordination with the Greenwood Central School, we'll be doing a second dose event there for the first dose event we did previously, but also offering first dose Pfizer and single dose J&J there as well. And to finish out the month, Thursday, the 30th of September, the Whitehall Central School on Buckley Road in Whitehall, that'll be a first dose event of Pfizer and J&J. Just an update on the state vaccine tracker. So as of last night, we were at 33,729 fully vaccinated people in Washington County, of which we have tracked 187 breakthrough cases. So those are cases in which someone has tested positive after being fully vaccinated. So of that 187, the breakdown, 114 Pfizer, 32 J&J, and 41 Moderna. We still ask for those statistics so we can put them in comparison. So how many of the 33,729 have been vaccinated by which vaccine? We have not got that information. But just to be completely transparent, we're still awaiting that data. But at least you can see the cases we're tracking locally. We've got the breakdown there. So again, thank you to everybody who's participated in our county point of dispensing operations. Obviously, they're continuing to be ongoing. The schools have become a huge partner for us now throughout the event, but especially now we're hosting additional school clinics. Those community clinics are not only open to the school-age children that are eligible, but school communities, everyone in the community, anybody who wants to be vaccinated. The schools have been gracious enough to open their doors and let us in to be able to host those clinics. And we're going to have additional first and second dose clinics at the schools, probably throughout the remainder of December before we get into booster shots and everything else, which is still coming. Any questions regarding booster shots? We still do not have the data or the guidance from the state and the federal government on how those are going to roll out. Certainly the Pfizer will be the first one. The Moderna is still under review as far as boosters, but we're being told we should have the data at least on how that's supposed to roll out somewhere around the 20th. We just still have not seen that yet. So as soon as we do, we will roll that out. The one last thing I just wanted to mention was there is a remote area medical free clinic that's going to be held at the Washington County Fair, October 2nd and 3rd, and it's coordinated and held by the Remote Area Medical Volunteer Corps. We will be doing a vaccine clinic on the Saturday of that, which is October 2nd. We'll be putting this information out in a flyer later today, and we're going to do it from 10 to 1 that day, and we'll be offering first dose Pfizer and J&J. So those will both be walk-ins. Registration will not be required. So anybody who wants to get vaccinated, public health remains committed that if you want to be vaccinated and you reach out to us, we will find a spot for you to get vaccinated. We're certainly encouraging anybody who hasn't thought about it to think about it, do the research, talk to your doctor. I think that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. Committee reports, the audit report. Do we have a motion to accept the audit report?
Chairman, moving the September audit committee report.
Moved by Supervisor Hogan. Do we have any seconds? Supervisor Fisher, Supervisor O'Brien, Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Rozelle. Seeing Supervisor Ferguson. Seeing no others, is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. In your package, you will see there is a proclamation for the support of Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which is October 2021. At this point in time, I'd like our county attorney to comment on that, if you would, please.
Yes, I thank the chairman for doing a cybersecurity proclamation for next month in support of cybersecurity. As you can see, it's Stop, Think, Connect. That middle step, that's the most important one because that's where you make those decisions. And by simply looking at a few things, you can get a very quick idea of whether or not you should open something. So stop, think, and connect. And that will help with quite a few things. You saw there was just a patch they had to put out for iPhones, which are supposedly unhackable, and yet somebody managed to do it. So you have to be skeptical, I think, of everything you get these days. If it doesn't look right, it's not. There's no such thing as a free lunch, believe it or not, despite what the internet tells you. So please stop thinking connect. Both at home, where you guys do a lot of your business, and the public does all their business, and here at work as well.
Thank you, Roger. Supervisors, privilege of the floor. Does anyone, supervisors, have someone that would like privilege of the floor? Seeing none, we'll go on to the introductions and resolutions. If you would, Deb, please.
Resolution number 177 by Supervisor Skelly, Roselle, Campbell, Half, Fedler, Shaw, Wilson, title, a resolution authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instance 100% of the federal aid and state Marcia-Selly program aid eligible costs of a transportation federal aid project and appropriating funds therefore, CR 10 over the Polteny River, town of Whitehall.
Chairman, I move resolution 177.
Moved by Supervisor Skelly. Do we have seconds, please? Supervisor Roselle, Supervisor Wilson, Supervisor Henke, Supervisor Campbell. Don't think we've missed anything. Oh, Supervisor Ferguson. I apologize for that, Paul. Okay. There's no other seconds, and I see none. Discussion. Anyone have any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 178 by Supervisors Skelly, Roselle, Campbell, Half, Fedler, Shaw, Wilson, titled to make appointments, reappointments to the Sewer District Number 2 Board of Commissioners.
Moving resolution 178.
Moved by Supervisor Skelly. Do we have seconds, please? Supervisor Henke, Supervisor Campbell, Supervisor Roselle, Supervisor Wilson, Supervisor Ferguson. And it doesn't look like we've missed anyone. Any discussion? All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Okay, carried.
Resolution number 179 by Supervisors Hicks, Ward, Campbell, O'Brien, Skelly, Clary, Griffith, title, amend staffing pattern for DSS.
Mr. Chairman, moving 179.
Moved by Supervisor Hicks. Seconds, please. Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Campbell, Supervisor Henke, Supervisor Ward, Supervisor O'Brien, Supervisor Ferguson. Have our seconds. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 180 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, title to accept payment of returned village taxes.
Moving resolution number 180. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have seconds, please? Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Ward, Supervisor Henke, Supervisor Roselle, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Ferguson. Did I miss anyone? Seeing none, discussion? All in favor, signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 181 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, title to accept payment of returned school taxes.
Moving 181. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have any seconds? Supervisor Ward, Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Roselle, Supervisor Henke. Did we miss anyone? No. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 182 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, title, amend 2021 Office for the Aging Budget for Unmet Needs Funds.
Moving resolution 182. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have seconds? Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Ward, Supervisor Henke. Seeing no others, discussion? All in favor, signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 183 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, title, amend budget for public health preparedness grant.
Moving resolution 183. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have seconds? Supervisor Griffiths, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Ward. See no others. Is there any discussion? Supervisor Hanky? Do you have discussion? Okay, I'm sorry, I thought I saw your hand up. That's okay. All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Carried.
Resolution number 184 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, title amend budget for public health child passenger safety grant.
Moving resolution 184. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have seconds, please? Supervisor Griffiths, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Ward, Supervisor Hanky, Supervisor O'Brien. Any discussion? All in favor, say saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 185 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, title amend budget for public health COVID-19 funds.
Moving resolution number 185. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have seconds, please? Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Rozelle, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Henke, Supervisor Ward, Supervisor O'Brien. Is there any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 186 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, title amend budget for immunization action plan funds.
Moving resolution number 186. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have seconds, please? Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Hanky, Supervisor Ward, Supervisor O'Brien. Any discussion? All in favor, say saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 187 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, title, amend the title by grade schedule for senior engineer.
Moving resolution 187. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have seconds? Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Skelly, Supervisor Hanky, Supervisor Ward. I don't think we missed anyone. Is there any discussion? See no discussion, we'll do a roll call, please.
Mr. Hanky?
Yes.
Ms. Fedler? See Mrs. Fedler?
I see, sure, she's still lit up there, yeah, but I don't, she's still muted. Supervisor Fedler, if you can hear us?
Yes, I couldn't get it unmuted.
That's okay, thank you.
Mr. Ferguson?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
Mr. Half?
Supervisor Hack, can you hear us? No, doesn't sure he can. He's on the screen, but he's on mute.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Skelly?
Yes.
Mr. Hogan?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mrs. Clary?
Yes.
Mr. Griffith?
Yes.
Mr. Rozelle?
Yes.
Mr. Half,
Still.
he's not shaking his
Not
head.
shaking his head, no, he's not, no picture there. Okay.
Oh. Okay, the resolution is adopted, 3,922 yes, 338 absent.
Thank you.
Resolution number 188 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, title authorizing and approving a settlement to an action relating to the opioid crisis.
Moving resolution 188. Do we have a second? Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Hanky, Supervisor Ward. Have any others? No. Is there any discussion? I'm sorry, Dana, I apologize.
Was there any requirement for these funds, whether it be spent?
Yes, there was.
So the numbers that you have in the resolution, I think it has a high end, low end. There's three parts to those numbers, and they're paid over 10 years. So one number, or one component of that is basically unrestricted funds. They're designed to compensate us for what's already happened. Another component of it is restricted funds to be used in fighting the opioid crisis going forward that we have the discretion to spend. The third element is a state fund that's set up with the monies flow into that we have to then apply to the state for once we come up with a program to spend them.
Okay. Any further conversation? All in favor, signal saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 189 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Feather, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, titled to amend general fund for American Rescue Plan Act revenues.
Moving resolution 189. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have seconds, please? Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Wilson, Supervisor O'Brien, Supervisor Ward. Seeing no others, any discussion? All in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 190 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Feather, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, titled to recognize lost revenues under the terms of the American Rescue Plan and authorizes transfer to general fund.
Moving resolution number 190. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Seconds, please. Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Rozelle, Supervisor Ward, Supervisor Wilson. Supervisor Hicks. No, discussion. Supervisor Hicks.
I'd just like to say that we did the same thing at the town level that the county did and recognized our number. When I first gave it a go, I was way off. Our budget officer was much closer, but we came in with a number that we found very beneficial to us. I reported out these details at the town board meeting last week. It was subsequently written up in the local paper. I did get a phone call from a constituent who said, I read there was lost revenue when you guys are being audited. When I reported out the lost revenue calculation through this program and that we had hired the county auditor to verify our number. So I would caution you when you report out to your board and to your public, be very specific in what you tell them and very specific on any media that covers it. Tell them that it is not lost revenue. It is a calculation of COVID-related lost revenue and nothing missing per se.
Thank you, Supervisor Hicks. Yeah. Any other discussion? All in favor, signal saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 191 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Feather, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, with the title to amend the 2021 general fund budget for the utilization of lost revenues under the American Rescue Plan and create capital project number 130, DPW barn repairs and replacements.
Moving resolution 191. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have a second? Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Rozelle, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Hankey, Supervisor Wilson, Supervisor Ward. Is there any discussion? Supervisor O'Brien, is there any discussion?
You're the one who took us out, so I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Is there any further discussion pertinent to the resolution? All in favor, signal saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
I had
Carried.
a question.
I'm sorry, Dana. It moved on the screen. You actually were there. I apologize.
No, I had to take an important phone call and had to turn down my volume. I understand I missed a roll call. I'm sorry. It's more of a, I don't know if it's a question or a comment. So the first tranche that we're going to take, we got 5.9 million. Out of the 11.8 million that's coming, we took 5.9 million, and we're going to take that and keep it all internally. And then the next tranche of money that comes out, I've asked this a few times, are we going to take that 5.9 million internally also, or is it going to go out the door? I don't want to take all this internally. Our citizens are not all in the county building. They're out in the hills of Hartford and Hebron and everywhere else. I want a commitment from the budget officer that we are not going to take the next tranche and suck it all up and keep it internally.
Supervisor Campbell. We are gonna take it all internally because it makes us available to do all the things you're trying to do with it without any strings attached to do it. That's why it's coming internally. It's the mechanism of being able to do those things.
You're going to take all you're going to take all $11.8 million internally.
As lost revenue, we're doing it that way to take it internally so there's no strings attached and we can do the things we want to do with it, yes.
Like what? If
Exactly what you're after.
if you're going to use,
exactly what you're after.
so if you're going to use it on broadband, you would do that with the internal money?
Yeah.
What else
Absolutely.
would, so when I say going out the door, I consider broadband going out the door. So even though you're going to take all this money internally, some's going to go out the door?
Yeah, so none of our priorities have changed as of this point. The whole idea was that under the program, you couldn't leverage it for federal matching funds and grants and all that. This way here, once we take it, we can do all the matching grants and everything to make those things happen.
Promises by politicians. Okay, Brian, let's see how we do.
Well,
Right.
it's not up to me, it's up to the board, but I'll let Albert talk because he's talked to us a million times on this. Yeah, please comment, Al.
So, Mr. Half, even though that it's coming internally, the recommendations of the subcommittee have not changed. So even out of this first tranche, 5 million of it is going to go to the barns, but we're still investing in the air handlers at the jail, and we're still investing in the child care and foster care. I still consider that money out the door money. In the second tranche, we are still going to do the water and sewer projects that we talked about at the $1.5 million level. We're still going to do the $600,000 in tourism, which is out the door money. We're still going to do broadband. We're just going to do it at a lower level. Instead of 6 million, it might be 3 million. But the beautiful thing about that 3 million is now $2 million of broadband on like a Northern Borders grant where we only have to match 20%. We can now leverage that 2 million into 10 million. So we might actually get more money out the door than we would have in the first iteration.
Okay, I understand the philosophy of that. I'm going to be watching the execution, and I think we all should watch the execution of how this
Absolutely.
happens. I don't want to take the easy route and then use it internally to help the county budget.
None of this was going to stay in our fund balance, but please continue to ask questions.
And why isn't air handling at the jail considered out the door?
If we didn't use ARP funds for those air handlers, we'd be levying for that money. So it's still a break to the taxpayers.
But it's not really out the door. It's internal. That is a true internal use.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor, signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 192 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Half, Hicks, Fedler, Skelly, Hogan, Clary, Ward, Griffith, titled to accept proposed renewal of Humana Medicare Advantage Insurance Policy.
Moving resolution 192. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have seconds? Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Henke, Supervisor Ward. Discussion. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 193 by Supervisors Hicks, Ward, Campbell, O'Brien, Skelly, Clary, Griffith, title amend staffing pattern for Public Health Corps Fellowship Program.
Moving resolution 193. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have seconds?
You can put us back on.
Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Griffiths, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Wilson. Supervisor Hanky. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 194 by Supervisors O'Brien, Roselle, Half, Hicks, Fedler, Fisher, title, a resolution authorizing a pipeline easement across county-owned land in the town of Argyle from the county of Washington to the Washington Land Associates LLC.
Chairman, moving resolution number 194. Moved by Supervisor O'Brien. Do we have any seconds? Supervisor Fisher, Supervisor Griffiths, Supervisor Roselle, Supervisor Campbell, Supervisor Half. And did you also have discussion, Dana, or no? That was just your motion? Okay, that was his second.
Yes.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So Bob, you wanna buy some property in Argyle?
You want to send them a letter?
I was thinking.
Resolution number 195 by Supervisors Campbell, O'Brien, Hicks, Fedler, Clary, Ward, Griffith, title, support Adirondack Community College Capital Improvement Plan for 2022-2023 in the total amount of $1,701,500.
Resolution number 195. Moved by Supervisor Campbell. Do we have seconds? Supervisor Griffith, Supervisor Clary, Supervisor Ferguson, Supervisor Hanky, Supervisor Ward. Any discussion? All in favor, say by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, now we move on to the supervisor's comments, but we have one very important thing that got looked over at the time we were doing the awards. And if I could ask Stuart Brunel to come forward, please, and if Mr. Skelly would come as chairman of DPW to make the presentation. Stuart served us for the county for 35 years of service.
After sitting through the meeting, it probably seems like 36.
Stuart, that was our last minute torture for you. Put you through that.
35 years. 35.90 if you do that.
Stuart, thank you very much for your service. Okay, supervisor's comments. Mr. Hanky.
There's a tale or fable in Scotland about how the Romans were coming to invade Scotland, and the Scots had all had quite a night, and they were all sleeping it off, and the Romans came sneaking up with them in the dark, and they went through a field of thistles and began to stab thistles into their feet, began to hoot and holler and dance around, which woke the Scots up, who kicked the Romans' butts and threw them out of Scotland. And so they proclaim a celebration every year, which is called Thistle Day. And we haven't had a parade in Argyle in 2 years because of COVID. We haven't done virtually anything in Argyle because of COVID, and we thought it was about time to shake the stink off. So I proclaim Thistle Day to be tomorrow, September 18th in Argyle. We'll be celebrating Thistle Day. There will be a parade starting at 2 o'clock, the same route as the 4th of July parade, starting up at 197 by Saunders, is coming down through town around the back and ending up at the school. The firemen have got a chicken barbecue, which you had to sign up for ahead of time, so I know some of you in here have got tickets. There's a farmer's market down on Main Street. If you didn't get your ticket from the firemen, the Legion Hall's having pulled apart barbecue truck there, and down on the ball field, they've got the Moby Dick's fish fry set up. There's a crafts fair up by the Legion Hall, and where you can buy your Thistle Day shirts if you want. And there'll be live music by the Bluebillies starting at 5:30 over on the ball fields. And then at dusk, which is probably going to be about 8 o'clock or so, there'll be fireworks shot off from the mountain over there on the other side of where the tractor poles are off the top of Barkley Mountain. You'll be able to see it from just about anywhere in Argyle. You don't want to get on the park in the field. I think anywhere from the top of the Argyle Hill to almost Hartford, you'll be able to see them because they're going off from quite a vantage point. So I would, invite everybody to come. I know some of you are coming because you got barbecue tickets, but, it should be a good time and maybe we'll shake it off a little bit.
Thank you, Supervisor Hankey. Any other supervisors' comments? Yes, Supervisor Clary.
Tim Hardy mentioned the RAM, which is the remote area medical. I'll be sending out a flyer regarding that to everyone. They are looking for volunteers to help with parking, and I know they've done some bilingual services and just ordinary things that you need to do in order to, actually have this be operating. The RAM is a remote area medical. It's a major not-profit provider of free pop-up clinics. Their mission is to prevent pain and alleviate suffering by providing free quality healthcare to those in need. They do this by delivering free dental, vision, and medical services to underserved and uninsured individuals. The RAM Corps has done more than 172,900 volunteered licensed dental, vision, medical, and veterinary professionals, and they've treated more than 863,700 individuals over the last period. So take a look at the flyer when I send it. It's going to be at the Washington County Fairgrounds on October 2nd and 3rd. And it'll be the first time. And we'll do it every year after that if it's successful. So come join us and we'll see where we go with this. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
And
you,
the thistle that sounds great, Bob. Good plan on the thistle days.
Supervisor Ferguson. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'd like to give a huge thank you out to Wounded Warriors for helping our family out throughout the month of the loss of our nephew. Thanks.
Thank you, Paul. Supervisor Haff, I see you have a smile on your face. Is there something you wanted to add?
Yes, I want to thank Bob Hankey for taking their fireworks on top of a large hill that can be seen in Hartford. So now that my dog will hide underneath my bed during your parade and your fireworks. Thank you, Bob.
My dogs like fireworks. They aren't wimps.
Must be a Scottish Terrier. All right. Any other supervisors have comments? Supervisor Campbell.
Yeah, so our budget stuff's out, so everybody that's here today or said was here, I guess, so we can all take our budget stuff. I might make a northern run on Saturday or Sunday, so maybe I can get Whitehall dressed in Putnam on that run. I can probably get one to Sue since she's pretty close to my area, and I ask anybody else to grab any of the other areas. I can get one to Dana or Matt wants to drop it off to him. Probably do that. Just want to make sure everybody has the stuff for the meeting. I know Kathy said she's coming in Tuesday, is going to grab hers. But, yeah, if we can get them out to everybody, that'd be great, so everyone can follow along when we're on Zoom.
All right. Any other supervisor comments? I do see that our district attorney, Tony's in the back. Tony, do you have anything you want to add, or just? No. Okay. Wasn't sure, didn't want to overlook you if you did.
The election's coming. Election's coming.
Okay. If there's no other comments, we will adjourn. Thank you. Be safe, everybody.